The original name of the ranch was Buena Vista, but it later became known as Laguna Seca. Legend has it that at one time there was a watering hole along an old Indian trail. In time, all that was left was a large, dry, sunken area, a dry lake. It was to this site that in 1867, Macedonio brought his family in a wagon train from El Tule. By then there were 5 children: Ramon, Jesus Maria, Macedonio II, Carlota, and Delfina.
My name is Vela-Chapa Vela. I'm from San Manuel, which is 18 miles north of Edinburgh. Family ranch that has been in our family for, probably 7 generations. Manuel Chapa was my great-great-grandfather, and that's who the ranch is named after. And so we have deep roots here in the valley. And then prior to that, my family came from Reynosa in the Camargo area, and they were there since the mid-1700s. So I always tell people, we didn't cross the border crossed us.
2 more children were born to Macedonio and Mercedes, Eloisa and Alberto. The ranch became a community with its own church, schoolhouse, and post office. Macedonio built a school in 1892 and brought teachers to the ranch. In 1893, the Oblate Fathers came from Brownsville to establish a church that served the surrounding ranches of El Desierto, La Noria Cardeneña, Santa Anita, and others.
And it was determined by the committee members that we wanted to approach the museum and ask if they would allow us to set up a family exhibit, which they did. We acquired clothing, artifacts, documents, pictures. On the wall, we had all the branches of the family, and we used the orange tree as the theme. And the first orange trees in the valley were planted there at the Laguna Seca Ranch, and there's a historical marker. And they got the orange seeds. Back then they had traveling priests, and some of the priests brought oranges to the children. And my aunt, Tia Carlota Vela, it said, planted the first orange trees as a child. We all have wonderful, rich family stories to say. Some are funny, some are sad. The thing is this: have you documented it? Is it in some format so that future generations can see where they're from and what their stories are? And I think that's what this museum is doing. It's documenting the history of the region, but so much of the history of this region is really family history. It goes back to the ranches and the pioneer families that came here and settled and developed all this region.